1890s, it became very, very popular, and people enjoyed it, and they would have the dancers with their umbrellas, and it was just a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, today there's a group called the Society for the Preservation of Dixieland Bands, and they have a huge festival in Sacramento every year with hundreds of bands from all over the world. Okay, there are people that speak Chinese playing Dixieland. Okay. So anyway, and then in the 20s it moved to Chicago and became much more sophisticated in Chicago. Okay, and moved to Chicago primarily because Louis Armstrong moved to Chicago. Okay, and that's kind of the way it worked. And in the 30s, it became very important. In the 20s and 30s, they had what they called speakeasies, where you could speak easily, which meant that in 1919, I believe it was, Prohibition happened in our country, which meant that they prohibited alcohol. Okay, a bunch of people thought that was a really good idea. It didn't work out so well, but anyway, that's what they did. And so alcohol became illegal, which meant that you would go to the speakeasy, and had a little window in the door, and you'd knock on the door, and if they knew you, they'd let you in. If they were a cop, you wouldn't get in. Okay, so it was kind of there was a law against it, but it was widely ignored. Okay, and jazz grew up in that environment because it was kind of like the ultimate party, and the fact that it was kind of against the law made it even better. Okay, people wanted to do it more. Okay, in the 30s. Jazz was the music. That's all there was to it. People like Gershwin, which we'll play a little later on, and some other people just did some fabulous stuff. In the 1940s, the swing era happened. Boy, the swing era was really cool. And everybody's swinging and dancing and having a great time. Those were the war years during World War II. My mother and father grew up during that time and told me great stories about how they would have fun going to the dance halls and to the dance ground.
Well, the same age as his mother and father.
I guess so. So anyway, then in the 50s, things changed. And jazz went into a more avant-garde kind of style, which is more what we find now. And then rock developed. And the difference between rock and swing was in swing, there was a swing beat, which is what you've been playing all along today. Okay? And then in rock, the 8 notes were no longer they stayed straight down. So you can feel the difference then, okay? And rock groups started to happen. The first rock and roll was Bill Haley and the Comets, and Elvis Presley was right in there toward the beginning, okay? And in the 60s, the Beatles came around, and think of the most popular musical group today, times about 500,000 with the Beatles. Okay, the Beatles were huge back then. And then after that with the Rolling Stones, and then we're on to heavy metal, and then there's hard rock, and there's rap, and before you know it, we're into everything else. Okay? And that's kind of how we evolve. So music is not invented, but it's more evolved along that way. We'd like to go ahead and do a ballad, okay? And let's do the one that we do, the When I Fall in Love. Ballads are the toughest to play, okay? They're slow, and they're supposed to be romantic, okay? And it's difficult to play because it's hard to get the feel when you're going that slow, okay? And Jessica does a terrific job of interpreting the music, and one of my jobs then as a piano player is to fill in all the stuff that she doesn't do, okay? In other words, my job is to make you look good. This is called When I Fall in Love. By the way, this is not a theoretical study for Jessica.